Heartbreaking news for Richard Goodall. The sorrow hits deeper than his deep notes. When Richard Goodall sang "Don't Stop Believin" on television, people everywhere felt his power. Raised in a small Indiana town, he swept floors before his singing swept across the internet. This man, known for his booming voice, hides a life filled with unexpected turns and heavy shadows. But what could bring such a promising star back into the depths of despair? It's evident that the truth is more devastating than we ever anticipated. And this is just the beginning of what will shock you. Richard's life began in Indiana, where he grew up in a community that, while not rich in money, was rich in emotional support. From a young age, he was drawn to music. He discovered his talent while singing alone in his room to the tunes from his old stereo. This became his private way of nurturing a dream that seemed distant, a dream that grew with each song he sang in those quiet moments. Richard was unaware that a shocking revelation was about to change his life forever. High school opened new doors for Richard. He joined the school choir, which became a place where he could refine his voice. As he got older, he also joined a gospel choir, where he sang for 8 years. But then, something unexpected happened. The coronavirus pandemic hit, and the choir could no longer gather. But this wasn't the worst part. Richard had always dreamed of making a difference with his music, but he had to face the hard truths of adult life. He needed a steady job, and college wasn't an option because it was too expensive. With limited choices, he became a janitor at Chauncey Rose Middle School. To some, this might have seemed like giving up on his dreams, but for Richard, this job provided the security he needed while still allowing him to dream. For over 20 years, Richard took care of the school, making sure everything was clean and welcoming. Even though his tasks were simple, he never lost his love for music. He would sing while he worked, his voice filling the halls and touching the hearts of students and teachers alike. People around him couldn't help but notice his talent. The students and staff were deeply moved by his singing, and they encouraged him to share his voice beyond the walls of the school. Their support turned his daily routine into something special, and he became known as Mr. Richard to everyone who heard him. During school events, especially on Veterans Day, Richard would sing "God Bless the USA" by Lee Greenwood. His heartfelt performances often moved people to tears and inspired others to follow their own dreams. His voice didn't just show his talent, it showed his ability to lift up those around him and bring them together. Inspired by the support of his local fans, Richard decided to take a big step toward his dreams. His fame as the singing janitor spread beyond his town, eventually bringing him to the stage of America's Got Talent. There, people across the country got to see the man who had turned every challenge into a stepping stone. Many people might see Richard Goodall's job as a janitor as lowly or unimportant, but he didn't feel that way at all. Richard believed that his role at Chauncey Rose Middle School gave him a special chance to make a difference in the lives of the students. Even though his work was simple, he felt it was an opportunity to teach kids valuable lessons like respect and gratitude, which he believed were more important than any subject taught in the classroom. Richard often talked about how saying "yes, sir," "no, sir, please," and "thank you" were not just good manners. They were important values that he could pass on, even if he wasn't a teacher. This showed not only how seriously he took his job, but also his deep desire to help his community in any way he could. His dedication to his job and his love for music showed how committed he was to both serving others and following his dreams. As Richard got older, he had to face many challenges and responsibilities, but he never gave up on his passion for music. This determination led to a big question. Could his love for singing eventually take him from the simple hallways of a middle school to a much bigger stage that could change his life? Richard had tried to make it in the music world before. He had auditioned for America's Got Talent back in 2009, and also tried out for The Voice, but both attempts ended in rejection. These failures shook his confidence and made him doubt if he was really good enough. But the students at his school didn't let him forget how talented he was. They kept encouraging him, urging him to try again, and finally he decided to give America's Got Talent another shot. The reaction to his performance was immediate and powerful. Simon Cowell nodded in approval, Heidi Klum clapped, and Howie Mandel smiled widely. The crowd cheered loudly, and many stood up to applaud. Richard's years of quiet dedication and practice were finally being recognized in the best way possible. When Richard finished his song, the room was buzzing with excitement. Simon Cowell praised him, saying that America would love his heartfelt performance. Howie Mandel commented on how Richard's performance felt so genuine and full of love. It seemed like Richard was on the brink of something even bigger. Then came a moment Richard could have only dreamed of. Heidi Klum, moved by his performance, reached out and hit the golden buzzer. Golden confetti rained down on him, marking his rise to a new level of recognition. Overcome with emotion, Richard cried tears of joy. This was the validation he had been hoping for after so many years of hard work and passion. But the surprises didn't stop there. After the performance, Richard spoke to the crowd and shared that he had never even been on an airplane before flying to California for the show. His journey, from a janitor in Indiana to a celebrated performer on one of the biggest stages in the world, was like a dream come true. It was a powerful reminder that our passions can take us to places we never imagined. Yet, a phone call home showed the mixed feelings of his sudden fame. Richard, filled with joy after his big win, quickly called his fiancée, Angie, to share the exciting news. Angie, proud beyond words, wasn't surprised that his beautiful voice had earned him the golden buzzer. Unfortunately, she couldn't be there to celebrate with him because of money troubles, which added a bit of sadness to the otherwise happy moment. The unforgettable moment was recorded and soon posted on YouTube, capturing the hearts of people around the world. Among the comments, students from Richard's school poured out their admiration and support for his brave step into the spotlight. One student wrote about how lucky she felt to have always cheered Richard on, saying his voice was like a wonder that made her school days brighter. She ended her message by calling Richard a true hero. Another student from a nearby school shared similar feelings, adding that there couldn't have been a more humble and deserving person to win. This student was excited for America to see what they had known for over 20 years, that Richard's simple beginnings hid an extraordinary talent. The general feeling was clear. Richard had won more than just the golden buzzer. He had deeply touched many lives. His performance wasn't just about his singing. It was a message of hope, persistence, and a personal reminder to keep chasing your dreams, no matter how hard it gets. After his performance, Richard went backstage for a private chat with the show's producers. Overcome with emotion, he spoke through tears, saying, "I'm just a regular guy, the one who cleans the tables, takes out the trash, and sweeps the floors." Yet, even with these simple tasks, he never stopped singing to the students, always doing what he loved. Just like the song he performed, "Don't Stop Believin'." He looked back on his younger days, remembering the hours he spent in his room with his old stereo, singing along to his favorite songs with all his heart. Given Richard's modest job as a janitor, America's Got Talent stepped in to help by covering all his expenses for the competition. However, Richard still faced challenges with other costs, like plane tickets and places to stay for his support team. Seeing this, a community member from Terre Haute, Indiana, named Chris Bond, started a GoFundMe campaign to gather extra support for Richard. Chris's message urged the community to rally behind their local hero, saying, "Let's give Terre Haute, Indiana's golden buzzer winner, our support." The aim was to help Richard focus entirely on his performances without worrying about finances, with the hope that his family and friends could also be there to cheer him on. The community's response was astounding. The fundraising campaign, launched on May 30th, 2024, reached and exceeded its target by July 19th, raising an impressive $119,000. This overwhelming show of support reflected how deeply Richard's story and talent had touched people. It was the community's way of expressing their gratitude for his inspiration and of supporting him on his journey. This collective effort did more than just provide financial aid. It gave Richard everything he needed to proceed in the competition. Supported by America's Got Talent, and a community that now viewed him as a symbol of hope and resilience. The support extended beyond monetary contributions. It symbolized unity and belief in the extraordinary potential that can be found in the most unexpected places. Richard's journey became more than a personal dream. It transformed into a shared experience for many who saw a reflection of themselves in his story. People felt that if Richard, a janitor from a small town, could achieve something remarkable, then perhaps they could too. With every step he took, he carried the strength of those cheering him on, not only because of his talent, but because of the heart and humility behind it. From janitor to sensation. Despite the praise and newfound fame, Richard Goodall, the humble janitor from Terre Haute, Indiana, stayed grounded. When asked if all this attention might make him feel proud or conceited, he laughed and shared that he had never been one for extravagance. His performance video on YouTube had garnered over 19 million views, making it the most watched clip of the season on America's Got Talent. The world was captivated by his singing, but they had only glimpsed a small part of his story and the challenges he had overcome to reach that point. Richard's journey was marked by persistence, resilience, and an unwavering dedication to his dreams. While many people his age might have settled into a quiet life, Richard remained determined to pursue his musical aspirations. Sharing his voice with a broader audience had always been his goal, and America's Got Talent offered him a unique chance to make this dream a reality. However, this wasn't his first attempt. In 2009, Richard auditioned for America's Got Talent with hope and enthusiasm, eager to showcase his musical talent. But things didn't go as planned, and he was cut after the initial audition in Chicago. This rejection left him feeling defeated, yet instead of surrendering, he decided to try again, sending a video of himself singing "Don't Stop Believin" to The Voice. But the response from The Voice was another disappointment. The email thanked him for his interest, but informed him he wouldn't be advancing. This rejection hit hard, particularly since he was accustomed to receiving praise for his singing. It shook his confidence, and he considered giving up. Turning to social media, he expressed his frustration, remarking that he deserved a chance and that the industry often favored younger artists. His post garnered support from fans who agreed with him and criticized The Voice's decision. Nevertheless, Richard held on to hope. Encouraged by the students he saw daily at school, he found strength in their belief in him. Eventually, he resolved to give America's Got Talent another shot. What reignited this spark was a serendipitous moment in 2022 during a talent show for fifth graders at Davis Park Elementary School. Richard had been asked to close the show with a song, and he chose "Don't Stop Believin" instead of his usual "God Bless the USA" to inspire the kids to pursue their dreams. Dressed in jeans, a baseball cap, and his jangling janitor's keys, Richard sang with all his heart, lighting up the room. The students, initially unsure of what to expect, started dancing and cheering, joined by the adults in the audience. Unbeknownst to Richard, a staff member named Mariah Dane recorded his performance and posted it on TikTok. The video not only showcased his incredible singing but also captured his ability to uplift and inspire others through music. The following day, Mariah informed Richard that the video had already amassed over 100,000 views. Within a week, it surpassed 1 million, surprising everyone and revealing the astounding talent of a janitor with a passion for music. This unexpected success was the break Richard needed. Suddenly, people everywhere began to notice his talent, including significant figures in the music industry. Even Steve Perry, former lead singer of Journey, saw the video and was moved by Richard's heartfelt rendition of his song. Soon after, Richard's hometown of Terre Haute celebrated his success with a special send-off party organized by local businesses and community leaders. He was showered with gifts, including a lifetime supply of dressing from Mullen's restaurant. The most surprising moment came when country singer Walker Hayes, inspired by Richard's humility and talent, gifted him a brand new car. For years, Richard's singing had filled the empty halls of the school where he worked. His deep, warm voice conveyed his emotions and life stories to the few students who happened to hear him while he cleaned. Music was his way of expressing himself and finding solace in his routine. Though he had a remarkable gift, Richard never imagined himself as a professional singer. It seemed like a distant dream he had already missed. Everything changed when his co-workers urged him to audition for America's Got Talent. Initially hesitant, Richard was swayed by their encouragement and chose to sing Elton John's "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me," a song with profound personal meaning. His performance captivated the audience, each note resonating deeply with those listening. As he finished, the room erupted in applause, and even Simon Cowell, known for his critical eye, appeared genuinely touched. "Richard, where have you been hiding all these years?" Simon asked, sounding both amazed and curious. The other judges echoed Simon's admiration, unanimously advancing him to the next round. But the surprises didn't end there. Richard's audition video quickly went viral, transforming him from a humble janitor into a national sensation overnight. Social media was abuzz with clips of his performance, and news outlets spread the story of the quiet janitor with an angelic voice. Following his TV appearance, Richard found himself inundated with new opportunities he'd never imagined. Among the first was an invitation from a local recording studio to create an album. "We want to share your gift with the world," the producer told him. Feeling a mix of nerves and excitement, Richard stepped into a professional studio for the first time, embarking on this unexpected new chapter. Soon, Richard was invited to perform at various events, from charity functions to music festivals. A talent agent from Los Angeles reached out, believing that Richard's voice could touch millions. Inspired by this faith in his potential, Richard agreed to work with the agent, opening the door to a real music career. With his family and friends' support, Richard embraced his new path. His debut album, a blend of soulful tunes and classic hits, received positive reviews. As his career flourished, he traveled nationwide, performing with renowned artists and winning over fans everywhere. Through it all, Richard remained true to his roots. He frequently returned to Terre Haute, visiting the school where he had worked for many years. "I'll never forget where I came from," he shared in an interview. "This school, these students, they're a part of who I am." But his story wasn't just about fame, it was about staying true to dreams and embracing life's surprises. From singing alone in school corridors to performing before thousands, Richard Goodall's story serves as a reminder that remarkable talents often reside in the most unexpected places, simply waiting for their chance to shine. Thank you for watching. Do talent shows unfairly favor sensational stories over true talent? Share your thoughts, comment, and subscribe for more content.